Two words: Hot Wheels. No matter if you're 4 or 400, that name puts a smile on the face of almost every car enthusiast. These little 1 in 64 scale cars have played a pivotal role in most car fans' lives. For most people, it was the start of their interest in cars. For quite some, it would become their biggest hobby. And all that by adhering to the same simple principle. Where other companies were making highly detailed, heavy die-cast models, Hot Wheels made simple, yet still exciting looking, lightweight cars that make kids actually want to play with them. A winning formula it seemed, as the brand quickly grew to one of the biggest toy brands of all time. However, that didn't stop them from doing some insane marketing stunts. And one of the most seemingly forgotten ones happened in 2013. My name is Chaotic Car Guy, and let's dive into it. Cue the intro! When I say Team Hot Wheels, there's a pretty big chance you're thinking of the series of animated movies clearly aimed at small kids. Made from 2014 onwards, the titular team saved the world from whatever the villain of the week was that movie. If you're either slightly older or have a weird memory like me, however, you might be thinking of the seemingly massive marketing campaign from 2011 to 2017. Unlike the movies, this wasn't aimed at the youngest of the Hot Wheels fans, instead clearly going for the early 2010s edgy young teen audience. You had teams blue, green, red and yellow, all with their own codes. Blue was high tech, green was speed, red was outrageous and yellow was powerful. Now it may look like they ran out of tangible concepts about racing after the first two, but I'm sure that's not the case. I don't know what the case was, but it probably wasn't that. I hope. If there's any part of the campaign that people do remember, it's the insane stunts they did. Not in universe, but in the real world. Team Yellow, with none other than Tanner Faust behind the wheel, would make the longest jump by a car ever at the 2011 Indy 500, which would stand until 2016 when it was broken by a Red Bull truck. However, given the fact that the Hot Wheels attempt was with a full Indianapolis Motor Speedway, while the Red Bull attempt was in some little town in Mexico with no one watching, I'd say Hot Wheels still wins. That same year during the X Games, teams Yellow and Green would compete on a looping racetrack straight out of Toys R Us. Although nowadays it seems like these events have been separated from the Team Hot Wheels campaign, they were the largest part of it by far. The easier to forget part was the diecast part of the campaign. Instead of, taking a look at the teams and their characters, figuring out what would fit there, or hell, even painting the toys in the same color as the team, they just took random cars out of a hat and put the driver on the box and in the promotional material. I mean, what the fuck is this? I thought blue was high tech. Why do they have a green fucking 1968 Camaro? Don't even get me fucking started on the green team delivery van. They're the high speed team. Why do they have a red van? Alright, before I explode, this was probably a major reason why Team Hot Wheels has less lasting impact than it could have. They had no identity. Sure, in the commercials they did, but when your actual physical products have nothing to do with them, the campaign loses cultural impact. However, all that loss of impact stuff is years away from now. We're back in 2013 and Hot Wheels is about to release a movie. Nowadays, that's not that weird of a sentence, but back then it had been 7 years since the last Hot Wheels media product, which was the final Acceleracers movie. Hot Wheels had also never made a live action movie before. The name of this up and coming movie? Team Hot Wheels, World's Best Driver. I see some of you in the audience starting to remember it. Yes, that one, that's the one. The movie would be released in 2013. It was 22 minutes long, not exactly feature length but still, and was aired in 144 countries before being put on YouTube. It was directed by director Mike McCoy, who also did a bunch of action movies no one watched, and featured a bunch of real life racers and extreme drivers, who of course did their own stunts. A very uninterested Danica Patrick was almost one of them, and aren't you glad that didn't happen? Filming was mainly done in the California desert, but would also take the crew to Cali's snowy mountains, motorsports complexes, and even an active steel factory. Though the movie would include some real-world performance cars, the crew also made a lot of so-called fantasy vehicles, cars that aren't made by any manufacturer apart from Hot Wheels. One of their creations was the Ripper platform, a buggy platform which was fast on and off the beaten trail. The movie was entirely practical, CGI only being used for live maps and some of the interior studio shots. I have a website linked in the description in which one of the movie's creative heads shows off his experience backstage. Very interesting if you want to know more, but for now we're gonna leave pre-production behind. Let's get into the actual movie. We start with a cold opening. A true display of power by the director that shows we are in for 22 minutes and 3 seconds of absolute cinema. We see our first Team Hot Wheels members, Team Yellow, who are sleeping in the middle of the day. Fantastic way to show us how cool and active our heroes are, guys. Suddenly, oh my god, is that a bomb? Nope, just kidding. It's a pager. Sleepyhead number 2 gets woken up by this, calls for his buddy to get his ass in the Jeep, and grabs his burrito. The driver does a Dukes of Hazzard entrance and Team Yellow is off to wherever the beeping guides them. Well, not after some donuts, but I mean that's basically mandatory, right? Then we meet one of our friends from Team Red, who has managed to somehow get his bike stuck in a tree without himself. Luckily, his teammate comes driving over in... Now hold on just a minute. I don't care what you tell me, movie, that is not a red car. That's a black bone shaker with decals, damn it! Anyways, after some dialogue delivery that shows why these guys are racers and not actors, they jump in the truck and are off to the races. Even though they are supposedly the outrageous team, they move a lot more efficiently than the powerful team. Don't question it, I don't either. We cut to the sickest car chase of all time. 2 green supercars, inches apart, racing for the victory. Real stakes here. Well, 2 RC supercars, that is. As we cut to a wide shot of Team Green standing next to their real and very much sponsored Chevy Corvette CR1. Surprise, surprise, their hangout session is interrupted by the alarm, which is different from the other races, but who cares? They don't even have to exchange a word as they jump into the very much sponsored, okay, this is getting old, Corvette and race off, probably running over their RC cars in the process. We get some shots of the cars racing down the mountain road that never would have existed if Top Gear didn't film this way and basically changed all car filming forever. That's not even an exaggeration. Look at a Ken Block, RIP, King video before and after James May dropped by. The difference is insane. And Team Green is off. Next up, Team Blue, who are posted up alongside the road like some sort of cop in an... Oh my god, is that a McLaren MP412C? To subtly signify they're the technology team, they have holograms up on their windshield, which would probably catch them a distracted driving case. They're using it to stalk Team Green through an AirTag they hid on the Corvette. I'm not kidding, that's really what they do. Finally, we get to see what's going on as their alarm goes off too, and it shows one message. Report to headquarters. The Corvette flies by and Team Blue kicks into action by darkening their visors. Don't ask me how that works. My headcanon is that they just have like void.jpg load up on their helmets. Without any tire smoke or antics, the McLaren sets off in pursuit. We get some shots of Team Green and Team Blue racing each other before we see a sign. HWTF. H what the f- Hot Wheels test facility. Our heroes arrive and enter the facility. We see Team Blue is beating Team Green with red and yellow far behind. Not entirely unpredictable considering they're in state-of-the-art supercars while red is in the homemade ute and yellow is stuck in a Jeep Wrangler. Narration tells us about the test facility and how awesome it is before giving us the premise. A massive new part of it has opened up to have our heroes compete to see who truly is the world's best driver. I love this map, by the way. When presented quickly in the graphic it looks fine, but when you pause it you can kind of see it's just Google Earth screenshots on a CGI background. Not to mention the fact that, considering the track is, a circle around the starting position we just entered, our drivers would have driven at least part of this track to get there, but let's not pick into it too much. This is meant to replicate that feeling of playing with Hot Wheels, and quite frankly, it does that perfectly. It's montage time as our drivers walk up to their crews and get briefed by an anonymous speaker. They jump into their pre-set up vehicles, one of which is supposedly the actual truck that performed the world record jump at Indianapolis, and get ready to compete in this challenge. We get some totally not dubbed last line from Team Red's motorcycle driver, and we're ready to holy shit, is that Mario Andretti?
And Ferrari had won. The winning car, Ferrari number 21, Mario Andretti.
An important victory indeed for Mario Andretti. It launches him further forward in the championship race.
This was the one he wanted more than anything else in the world. And here it comes, Mario.
They actually got motorsports legend Mario Andretti to show up. We're now ready to race. And wait, Mario, what are you doing with that gun? Mario, no! In all seriousness, Mr. Andretti fires his starting pistol and we are off to the races. No matter what jokes I will make, from this point on we get nothing but pure and exciting action. If you want to stop watching to avoid spoilers, do so now. This is your one opportunity because I won't repeat myself. The drivers enter what is essentially a playground for race cars. Red 1 gets told to flip on a ramp because that gives advantage somehow, I don't know. Yellow 2 gets told to do the same, but instead crawls slowly up some rocks. Great strategic thinking there, Yellow 2. Way better than taking the fast ramp. Green 1 and Red 2 take a crossover, jumping over the other cars, and honestly, it's all just really amazing. However, there's trouble for Green 2, who is reportedly going too fast. Green 2 also being the only one in an actual real car from a real manufacturer, and that manufacturer being the main competitor to movie sponsor Chevrolet probably has nothing to do with it. Green 2 assures us he can handle it and speeds up some more. This bites him in the ass almost immediately as he fails to steer in time for some barriers and he fucking dies in a car crash scene even the Fast and Furious movies are yet to rival. He crawls out and is marked as eliminated. The first driver of many. We get shown the scoreboard and, as predicted, Team Yellow is complete ass. I mean, look at them. How the fuck is Yellow 1 even behind his teammate who slowed down to crawl some rocks? The race goes on, however, and we get one of the coolest shots in cinematic history and some more epic strategy calls. We even get to see the Indy truck jump again. Unfortunately, the truck, literally designed for jumping, decides it doesn't like jumping anymore as the engine lights itself on fire to put itself out its misery. Smoke fills the truck and Yellow 1 is out too, which is total bullshit because once again, Yellow 2 fucking purposefully took a slower route. Justice for Yellow 1! We arrive at our first stop, where our drivers have to prepare for the next sector, which will be more off-road. We see Blue 2 switch to a bike as the team's crew chief explains there are multiple paths and they will both take one road each. That will definitely not come back to haunt them ever again. We are off again with the off-road circus racing off, choosing between the snowy mountain pass and the rock yard. Both of course perfect terrain for car racing. Side note, I do want to appreciate this shot. I mean, I'm not an America expert, but I'm pretty sure that the snowy mountains aren't actually next to the desert, which makes this a quite impressive editing job. Back to the speed. Basically everyone except for Blue and Yellow 2 take the snow road. And honestly, there's not a lot to say, just some amazing looking racing sequences. Eventually Red 1 starts losing grip because he's driving a dirt bike on the fucking snow. Blue 1 puts up the world's best smoke screen, or should I say snow screen? No? Yeah, fair enough. And Red 1 falls off a mountain. Surprisingly, that means he's eliminated from the race. Green 1 fucking cheats and takes an entirely different, faster route, which is followed by my child heartbreaking. As a Team Blue fan, I watched in horror as Blue 1's brake lines just randomly freeze and he goes straight on, almost front-ending a tree before wrecking into the snow, the wheels still spinning. I'd say Child Me cried, but this wasn't the most depressing moment. Anyways, Blue 1 is out, 4 drivers left. Green 1 celebrates their cheating as he and Red 2 start skidding across the ice before stabilizing. Meanwhile, Blue and Yellow 2 are racing through the rocks and it's once again just awesome. Peak early 2010s stunt action. Yellow 2 gets the most deserved karma of his life as he gets his stupid Jeep stuck on the same rocks he liked to run through so much and has to drive backwards. Unfortunately, he finds a very convenient road and lets his autopilot take the wheel before committing suicide? He just fucking jumped? The fate unknown for now, that logically eliminates him and 3 drivers are left. Green 1, Red 2, Blue 2. Our cars spit again to prepare for the change of terrain. While Green 1 gets stuck with some booster change, Blue 2 does the smart thing and changes his shitty bike for the right vehicle. A motherfucking Chevy Camaro, the certified most badass movie car of the 2010s. Red 2 just has a good pit stop and this angers Green 1 so much he races off without his booster. Sure wonder if that's going to cause events later down the road. Out of nowhere, Yellow 2 fucking returns like he's Palpatine, having cut the entire course with a parachute. He gets on a motorcycle and I'm sorry, but really? How is this allowed? Dude was literally off the map. He was gone. You can't just return like this. Where's the sanctioning body in all of this? Well, somehow they allow all of this bullshit and he's just happily reinstated even after his entire team thought he just ended it all. Meanwhile the Camaro still leads because it's fucking awesome. Yellow 2 cheats again by Jesus Christing his way through a lake, but this time karma catches up to him and he sinks, being eliminated for the second time. Get fucked, Yellow 2. We race on. Green 1 and Red 2 slipstreaming off the Camaro's mighty V8. The track splits again, Blue and Red 2 veering left, while Green 1 takes the right track. The Blue team also decides to cheat, although in my unbiased opinion that's completely fine and legal, so I'll ignore it, and turn off the lights in the tunnel, effectively blinding Red 2. However, it's all okay, because the Camaro turns out to be glow in the dark, making it even more amazing. Best part being, this was once again an actual practical effect. Green 1 meanwhile is racing through his section alone and is realizing the effects of greed, as his boost is almost empty as we get to the final part of the race. The 3 emerge from the tunnel into an active steel factory and start racing it out, drifting past rail cars and steel beams. Green 1 decides to ignore his crew again and fails so miserably he goes from first to last in one corner. Blue's 2 crew meanwhile sets up my cause of depression by telling Blue 2 to go through the factory, which won't go wrong at all. Red and Green stay out. We get some awesome shots of the Camaro as it races through the factory, and then it happens. Blue 2 does a sick ass drift under a crane, but somehow, only possible through satanic intervention, it knocks off the Chevy's tracker, which causes the team to lose contact with him and the driver to lose navigation. Then for some fucking reason Blue 2 gets out the car. The Camaro is completely fine, but because he can't be tracked anymore, Blue 2 is eliminated. Child Me was so angry at this. I love the Blue team and I love that Camaro, and they were eliminated in the most bullshit way possible. Completely undeserved. I will continue to be angry about that until I die. Blue 2 could have easily won, but no. God forbid I'm happy. Now if you'll excuse me, I'll be crying into my pillow. We remain with Red 2 and Green 1. Suddenly we get some bumblefuck named Billy who just shows up on the racetrack with a semi-truck. That can't be safe or legal. Red 2 meanwhile does some DIY improvements to his car, by which I mean chucking the entire front windscreen out. They enter the final sector in complete darkness, tensions run high. It's green versus red, good versus evil, although you could argue green is the evil one here, but hey. It's a legendary showdown between the two cars, both built on the previously mentioned Ripper platforms. They take jumps, pass each other, and it's just all you could ever ask for in a movie like this. Billy parks his truck near the finish to force the drivers to do a backflip in their cars. They race at it, and suddenly, Green 1 has an epiphany. He doesn't have any more boost. It's over for the Green team. Green has brought down the mighty empire of speed as he watches Red 2 race ahead before deciding he won't make it and driving into the barrier. Red 2 accelerates for the jump, just him and the machine, and
Red, here comes the backflip.
he fucking does it. The legend pulls off the backflip and wins the race, being crowned world's best driver. Blue 2 is the legitimate winner and he was only eliminated because they couldn't get a heavy muscle car to do a backflip, but we won't talk about that. He celebrates and the movie ends with the credits. So yeah, although I'm still angry as fuck, this very much was an amazing movie. The amount of work that had to go into this is so impressive. I can only respect it. I can definitely recommend you actually watch the movie without my attempts at comedy in between, because it is that awesome. It speaks to that part of your brain that's still a child without actually feeling like something made for children. Honestly, the only way this could have been cooler was if Michael Bay directed it and all the eliminated cars just exploded. In all seriousness, even though this is the most viewed video on the Hot Wheels YouTube channel, its cultural impact is seemingly so small compared to the amount of views it got that I just had to bring it to light. If you've never watched this movie, or if this video just scratched a nostalgic itch, check it out. For now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're still here, thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please like the video, subscribe to see more videos like this, and press the video on screen if you want to see a video YouTube personally chose for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.